Loki. Loki did an awful job. You did an awful job. Yes. You have blue healer in you. You're supposed to round up the cows, not be scared by them. Come on. Let's go turn the electric fence off. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Good girl. Alright. Hello, Cinnamon. Good morning. Good morning. Well, you can do that on the inside of the fence, thank you, ma'am. Come on. Come on. So, it is a pig pen building day. In hopes that we can keep Daisy, in hopes that she will stay in her pen, and if she does stay in her pen, then she can stay here. And she could probably get a friend if we can create something that's strong enough to actually keep her in. We got this yesterday off Facebook, kind of just put it out there that if something fell into place that we could pick up easily that could keep her in, that we would give it a shot. And an hour later these popped up. So they are plastic poly, I think they were tanks, and they've just been cut into sections. They used to keep in sheep and other animals at someone else's farm, but they're not keeping animals anymore, so, well, not those animals anyway, so we got them. The idea is that we'll dig them in a little bit. Not that she really digs too far under, it's more that she was getting her nose under and she's just so strong she was able to bend the mesh up. So I don't think I'll have to dig these in too far because she actually hasn't dug that far. The main thing is that she could just kind of push up the fence and her whole body would slip out. So as long as these are secured really well into some T-posts that are dug in real well, then it shouldn't be as big of a problem. So this will go up today, the idea being that she will rip up all this section to make way for a new garden. I really want to have long gardens along here. Mainly because up at the other spot, it's really lovely and it's worked really well, but it gets full sun. There is no shade. It doesn't cop any of the shade from the shed or anything. So I think especially for the winter garden, if I want to grow some vegetables that prefer cooler weather, it'll still be just too hot getting all of that up there. So down here is where our fruit orchard is. It's where all of our fruit trees and things are. It's where I end up wanting to set up our chickens. So this will be a good area for her to kind of work the ground so that I can set up some garden beds later in the year. It won't take her long to break it up, and then I figure we can just keep moving her for a little bit and keep extending that area. Even though there's a lot on the ad, it said there's 14 of these pieces here, but you put them together to make 2. So I don't think I'll realistically trust her just doing one. Because I think even if I run a hot wire across the top, she'll find a way to get out, because so far electricity has not bothered her in the slightest. She's worked out if she runs through it quick enough, it doesn't hurt that bad. Plus she's got really wiry, thick hair, so I think unless it gets her nose, it doesn't really bother her, because when she's pried herself out from underneath the fence, she doesn't seem to be bothered by the electricity in the slightest. So this should hopefully work a bit better. We'll see how we go. Oh, get it, girl. What? Got your ear. Got an itchy spot, do you? So I think another video will come soon just to show what we've achieved since we lived on this property, because we've come to the realization that it's it's at least 4 months, possibly even closer to 5 now. So soon we will have been here for 6 months. And I actually feel like we've achieved quite a lot. That lighting is awful. We've actually achieved quite a lot in the short time that we've been here. It only feels like we've been here a month or two, like it doesn't actually feel like that long. But since we moved here, all these extra fruit trees, which are due for another mulching. Bananas flowering. Just my favourite things to come and check out now. We've set up our veggie gardens. We've obviously set up things for Daisy. We've got the cows. We've got all the chickens. We've got the goat. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone as we're setting up this property. And today we just bought a new washing machine, which I'm so grateful for, because we have not had a working washing machine for a little while now, because the one we did buy broke on us and the part was very expensive. So we just gave up, got a new one. Just to show that you never know what the universe is going to throw at you, I finally had my new washing machine that washed something more than a few pieces of clothing. So I washed all this washing, I chucked it on the line, it was a really windy day, and I wound it up really high, and I didn't realise it was rusty, so between that and the wind, it just snapped right in half. So this is why community is so important. Our neighbours across the street are lovely, and they actually ended up coming over and helping us repair it with an old Hills hoist they had packed down on their property, so we now have a working washing line again. These two are like in love with each other. Aren't you, Red? Hey, Truffles. Truffles just kind of follows her around. He'll ditch his lady friends just to come hang out with Red. Won't ya? Hey? Historically, I get myself very down in the dumps about not having achieved enough. So I think now that we're coming up to the 6-month mark of living on this property, I might put together a video next of all the things we have achieved, because we actually have achieved a lot since we moved here, in comparison to what we could have achieved, and definitely in comparison to what we achieved at our previous property. So I think that will be the next video coming. I'm slowly finishing up a few of these things that I've sorted over the last week or so. I got a lot of energy, and I've been in the garden, and I've been moving animals and moved all the chickens, and there's been a lot that we've actually gotten done, especially the last couple of weeks. But I think it'll be good to put a little video together of what it was when we got here and what it is now, just to kind of give myself that little boost to know that I have achieved something. I think it's super easy when you follow so many people on YouTube that do this to get yourself down in the dumps because they've gotten so much done and you wish you'd gotten this done. It feels like weeks just fly by, and something that you're meaning to do when you moved here. For me, that's the compost bin. I still don't have one. That's tomorrow's job, hopefully. I think it's really easy to get yourself down in the dumps, but I think it's also really good to look at what you've actually achieved and what you achieved that you were capable of. I do work night shifts. I work full-time as a nurse, and even though I might finish work in the morning after 3 night shifts, I usually don't get any of that day. I usually sleep all day. I'll get up for 4 or 5 hours and then I'll sleep all night again. So I lose a whole day. Instead, if I did day shift, I probably wouldn't lose that whole day. So I do need to scale my efforts to what I'm capable of doing, which I'm not very good at. And I think other people that have big dreams and are constantly thinking of all the different things they could do probably feel the same way. But I look forward to making a little video and comparing it to photos of when we first moved here. Lucky, come here. Daisy has now been in for 1 week and she hasn't tried getting out. We've given her heaps of palm fronds and some greenhouse material to keep her nice and cool, and she seems very happy in there, so that's super exciting. Thank you everyone for coming over and watching that is new. My last video had a lot more
people watching than any of my others. So that was really exciting. So thank you everyone, and if you're new here, subscribe and follow along to our little journey.